Welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live on Facebook, thank you for that. If you're checking us out elsewhere, please remember we do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We have audio and video versions there for you to check out. Want to remind folks that we are, the Facebook page does also keep these shows live throughout the day, and you can go back and watch older shows if you so choose. Getting into your traffic this morning, heavy delays starting at the 10-12 split, but it looks like there might be an accident around Airline as well on I-12 westbound, causing delays all the way back into Livingston Parish. So it's going to be a slow morning if you're taking 12 west into Baton Rouge. Keep that in mind. On-ramp delays, of course, are being caused by those issues, so please try to find a different way to get around. Excuse me. 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190 are flowing at the moment. 64 into Central flowing as well. But you are looking at heavy delays on Greenville Springs Road. As far as school traffic, heavy delays. Good morning, Miss Dawn. Thanks for joining us. Heavy delays on 16 in front of Live Oak High School, as well as heavy delays on 16 in front of Dim Springs High. Lots of traffic in between Walker High School and 447 on 190, so please keep that in mind. Normal delays on Burgess Avenue. It's currently 54 degrees. 84 degrees is your high today. 60 degrees, your overnight low. I want to remind folks it's going to continue getting cooler until Friday, when it's going to be low 70s during the day and high 40s at night. So it's going to be very cold on Friday. Keep that in mind. The census count has been halted for the time being. As you may or may not have been aware, as we've been keeping up with the census, there have been several extensions. Good morning, Miss Cynthia. Thanks for joining us. There have been several extensions of the census count for the 2020 year, due mostly to COVID-19 and trying to make sure that everybody got counted. The current extension was running through October 31st. However, the Trump administration sued the Census Bureau and tried to get that stopped so that they would have enough time to do the count. According to the Census Bureau, they had already counted pretty much everyone that had submitted and wanted to go the full time. However, now a judge has ruled that the census count must stop for this year. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how the census count comes out, what each state's percentage is, that sort of thing. Of course, the census count, very important to determine how many Congress people will come from each individual state, or each state, excuse me, as well as, demographic information that makes you eligible for grants, federal funding, that sort of thing. So census count, very important. Right now, Louisiana, about average overall. Livingston Parish, a little behind average in terms of response rate. But as of now, that census count has been halted. Of course, the most recent deadline that was coming up was October 31st, which would have been the final day after 2 extended periods for the census itself. The Louisiana House approved a measure that will now head to the Senate that would allow state government to punish local governments should they do the defund the police. As of right now, no local municipalities or larger governments had any intention of reducing police funding at this time, but the House wanted to pass something that would prevent them, or at least disincentivize, there's the word, local governments and larger governments from defunding their law enforcement. So that'll head to the Senate for a vote sometime over the next few days. The body of a woman was identified in an Albany murder-suicide. Miss Darenisha Williams, who's 21, of Hammond, had been reported missing several months ago, back at the beginning of September. She was last seen leaving a family event with her estranged boyfriend and then disappeared. Mr. Skinner Sr. of Albany had been charged with, I guess you could say, faulting the investigation. And so they had been investigating Mr. Skinner when they found a body was reported, which happened to be his, in a suicide. So he apparently murdered her and then killed himself. So it's a very unfortunate story, but that does come to a close and her body was identified. The Hungarian settlement, which this is interesting, is offering half-price days to commemorate their 1956 revolution against their government. You can go check out the Hungarian settlement, which is just north of Springfield, just south of Albany. It's almost right off the interstate there at the Springfield Albany exit. October 20th, 23 and 24 and 27th. So 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. is when the museum is open, half price on those days. Getting into your COVID-19 statistics real quick, 172,801 cases, 5,486 deaths, 2,510,319 tests. 157,873 have recovered, 573 hospitalized on 68 ventilators. In Livingston Parish, 3,981 cases, 76 deaths on 43,173 tests. The House did vote yesterday, and this will now go to the Senate as well, to reject any outside or private money into the election process in Louisiana. Republicans in the House argued that it could corrupt the election process by accepting outside money. Democrats argued that the state was already in poor financial condition, so accepting private funds to try to help shore up workers for polling places, which is a special problem coming up for this election, that this would kind of help. It's in response to Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, Priscilla Chan, who are offering $250 million worth of grants to state and local governments to try to help bolster election staffing and response. According to the state government, or at least Republicans in the state government, they believe that that would have been an attempt to corrupt the election process. Instead, they're offering $100 extra for poll workers. That will come at a cost of roughly $6.3 million as they try to make sure that election and polling places are fully staffed for the November 3rd election. Good morning, Ms. Alana. Thanks for joining us. Going to wrap up the show here real quick. Please remember that I-12 and I-10 split. There we go. The 10-12 split delays backed up to airline. Looks like a wreck around the airline area has caused heavy delays all the way back into Livingston Parish. So please keep that in mind wherever you're going this morning. It is causing heavy delays. 4H Club Road, River Road, and 190 is flowing. However, you're also looking at pretty good traffic on 64 heading into Central. However, Greenville Springs, heavy traffic this morning. You're looking at some tough conditions around Walker High, especially on 190. Good morning, Miss Karen. Thanks for joining us. You're looking at tough conditions on 190, especially from Walker High to 447. And, of course, the heavier delays in front of Live Oak High School up there in Watson. It's currently 54 degrees, 84 degrees is your high today, 60 your overnight low. Remember, it is going to continue to get cooler all the way down into the low 70s during the day and the high 40s at night, at least for a day on Friday. Oh, one more thing. I want to talk about these mitigation efforts real quick. Please remember to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or more. Wear a mask in public, 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others. Control your cough and sneezing with an elbow or a tissue, preferably your own elbow. Don't touch your face, my favorite one. 50 or less to a gathering. And stay home if you're sick, and utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. Want to remind folks that we are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays at $7 a month to get that in your mailbox. We're also online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We have a podcast page, which is free, which has audio and video versions of our podcasts. We also have a coronavirus page, which is free, all the up-to-date coronavirus information that you can stand. And we have a breaking news page, which is federal news, state news, as well as accidents and arrests for you to check out. That is free as well. We do hope you have a great day. It's supposed to be a beautiful and sunshiny day. I see the sun peeking through the trees already, and we will see you tomorrow morning.